right, we're back here at the wonderful Sweetwater Studios with Jason Peets.
Hello, Andrew.
What's up, man?
Good to see you again.
I was here, what, 3-something years ago? We did a tour, and a lot of things have changed, so I wanted to come back and have you kind of show me around. Jason's taken over as the main Sweetwater Studio engineer. So what's going on? What's new?
Well, we're standing here in our lounge. Some new things. Obviously, the Project Vinyl turntable is centerpiece here with our L100s classic. But just a great spot for artists to hang out when they're not recording or their drummer's doing a million takes. The rest of the band can hang out here. Yeah, it was important for us to have a space like this if you're not having one for a while. So.
And you got an old piano in here.
Yeah, it's a Wurlitzer that Sweetwater sold somebody a new upright and they wanted to get rid of this. So it was actually in the back to be thrown away. And I sat down and just hit a note and I was like, that is a very vibey sounding piano.
Yeah.
And it's obviously been worn down and played a bunch, so. Yeah, it's a good lounge piano. Sometimes we walk it into the studio and actually record it, so.
You got a little rig out here for songwriters or something?
Yeah, if someone needs to edit something or someone needs to lay down, demo, whatever, this is sort of a space they can do it in if the other rooms aren't open. Also a great spot for editing on the fly if we have a big tracking session in a lot of rooms.
Oh yeah.
Take the drum tracks over here and grid them while we're still working on recording, so.
You got a secret stash up here?
Some chips,
There's always a secret stash hidden somewhere in a studio, dude. Nice.
Most of the Cool Ranch Doritos are gone. I don't know who did that.
Nice, man.
Yeah, coffee set up. Yeah, the fellow Aiden and the Ode, sort of the anchor of my energy source here at the studio. Great pour-over machine.
Just a good, trusty pot.
Yeah,
coffee pot.
Totally.
I don't know much about this machine.
It's a pour-over machine.
Oh, nice.
So instead of taking all day making a pour-over by hand, you can just do it here. It's pretty cool. Connects to the Wi-Fi. And it's got,
Oh, perfect.
Oh yeah. And then the Keurig too for down and dirty.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Awesome.
But yeah, let's head over to Studio A. We'll start there and work our way back.
Cool.
Let's walk into the live room here. This is our main tracking space.
Wow.
We've added a lot more instruments into the space and sort of set things up to where they're sort of preset in a way.
Oh yeah.
So when creativity strikes, we can just record and
Love
don't have
that.
to spend a bunch of time setting up. Yeah, we've added some speakers in here for playback for artists that don't want to listen in headphones.
Yeah.
But still want to listen back, don't want to walk to the control room. Some gobos we had made recently, which have been really helpful in controlling the space. So one side diffusion, the other side absorption. But yeah, this is the main tracking space. 2 ISO booths. This is sort of keyboard land, if you can see. B3, Rhodes, some synth stuff. Got the Leslie mic'd up, grand piano, Yamaha C7, again mic'd up. Yeah, sort of ready to go.
This is great. What a curated collection of stuff here, huh?
Yeah.
So Sean was engineering here for a long time.
Yeah.
And then you took over. What sort of evolved since you got to work with him and see how a lot of sessions happen? Then you got to come over and probably make some adjustments to your taste?
A few. I mean, we were working really closely together for the past 5 years here. So a lot of these decisions were made based on our workflow and sort of came up in the same way. So not a whole lot has changed since he's left. Obviously, some microphones and things changed per session. But for the most part, it was where we wanted it to be set up and, ready to go.
Some staples in here.
810 Ampeg cab matches the SVT that's in the control room actually.
Love that.
The B15 again classic.
Oh yeah.
Can't beat that. And then there's more bass amps and options in the back as well that we can pull out if we need to.
Great choices on the bass cab, by the way.
Right.
Like dynamics right on the speaker. You're not getting too much crazy low end because the amp just is already
exactly. It's already got enough, or you're getting it from the DI as well.
Exactly.
But this is also a really controlled room too for drums if we want that dry drum sound.
Yeah.
We've cleared all of this out and put a full kit in here, smaller jazz kits in here.
Yeah.
So all that is sort of doable.
Nice high ceilings too.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
C7.
Yep,
Yamaha.
C7. Yep.
Some C12s on here.
Again,
fantastic.
Classic. Yeah.
These are all kind of mic'd up, going to tie lines where you just know, like, oh, we're going to do this. You can grab those and throw them in.
And again, that's very much preset for my workflow.
Yep.
If we have other engineers come in here, obviously the list of things that happened before, we make changes prior, obviously. So
cool.
That's sort of, been left up.
Love this.
Yeah. And then this room sort of is guitar world. I have a line of combo amps all powered up, so make it super easy to audition amps. So a lot of times before a session, I'll have a guitar player come in here.
This is awesome.
and we'll just plug in and we'll pick out what we're going to use.
Yeah.
And then same thing with the 412s. They all have different speaker flavors, so we can make a great pairing with our amp heads.
Like, this is what we got to do. We got to stack them up like this.
Yeah, and again, now that can be one unified sound if we want to use it for, you know, one player, multiple amps.
Yeah.
Everything's aligned.
God, that's so fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Oh, literally different mics on every single.
Yeah, I was doing a guitar recording workshop and trying to show our attendees what different mics sound like. So sometimes this switches to all 57s or all 545s, or, you know, different pairings of multiple mics per cab. So this really changes quite often. But again, the stands are there, makes it a lot easier. Everything's plugged in, patched in. So we have a speaker patch bay where we can run amps from either in the tracking room or in the control room to any of these cabs pretty efficiently. So
now, do you play guitar?
I do, yeah.
What are out of the combos? What are some of the fun ones that you loved going to?
This Valve Junior is one of my favorite amps of all time. Great one-trick pony.
Yeah,
it's got just a volume knob. It can be more or less overdriven.
Pete's.
Yeah, it's a personal one there.
Nice.
I also love this Fender Champ here.
Oh,
it's actually a 60s tweed Champ in black Tolex. But again, one-trick pony, one knob. You know, more or less. That's more towards what I lean to, are, you know, amps that do one thing really well, rather than sort of like a, you know, a multi-use amp. So that's why a lot of these live here, and you can use them in conjunction and things. But Princeton's also a staple. I mean, that's normally the starting point for most sessions. If I'm not too familiar with the guitar player or the band, it's like everyone sounds good through a Princeton. So the third ISO that's not necessarily an ISO, it's our drum storage room. No windows, so sight lines get a little tough, but can put guitar amps in here.
Nice.
So yeah, mainly drum storage, bunch of different kits, bunch of different snares. Everything's teched and sort of ready to go, but can craft pretty much any sound you're looking for out of what we have here.
I have to imagine you have developed some biases of things that you're like, all right, if I'm picking, let's start here.
Yes, definitely.
Tell me what are some starting points you like to?
Well, it depends really on the genre.
Okay.
The heavier things, I lean towards this Sonar kit.
Oh, cool.
We also have like all the toms for it, so it's great if someone wants a really huge kit. For that. The more Americana folky stuff, this George Way is great. The Craviotto is great for that. 24-inch, so it really depends there. We have a Ludwig Black Oyster, again, classic for that sort of thing. And then a Gretsch USA Custom, which it's hard to beat for that, you know, rock thing, classic rock, that sort of punchy mid-range thing. But yeah, I don't know. I love all of these kits for different reasons in here. And I like to try to pair it with the player and the genre as best I can. So and then the snares, it really just depends on the day. I like to normally fill a cart up with what I think, and then we'll just, you know, try a bunch of things.
Oh, I love the cart. This might be a new add to my wish list thing because I have the closet of them, but then I do like to keep a few nearby. So
especially if you're sitting down playing, just be able to, you know, reach and grab something.
But if you can just roll it over by the kit, and then roll it out when you're done, I love that.
Gator makes these, so
nice.
Pick them up here.
It's always the strangest things I pick up on studio tours.
It's
never like the big stuff. I'm like, what's this cart?
Just workflow things. They keep it moving. Stand storage is also, I mean, for those that own studios or are engineer, this PVC. It works really well, especially for tom legs.
Oh yeah.
And because we're at Sweetwater, it's important to have all of the drum brands for people that are endorsed. So.
You got them color coordinated?
Yeah, so the really small ones are yellow, the mid-size booms are blue, and then red for the full size.
Nice.
And again, that's a uniform way that I have them put back too, so it makes it the most efficient when setting them up.
Nice.
It's those tiny little efficiencies that make the setup process go really smooth.
Oh yeah. This is great because PVC can take some damage.
Exactly.
And when you're throwing hardware and stands around, it's going to get scratched up. I saw that too. You guys have the nice...
carpet squares.
Carpet squares on the wood for the drum shelves.
Yep.
Which also just keeps it from getting too loud and crazy in here.
Yep. And it is drywall in here, so it can act as a liver space than the rest of the room. So sometimes it's cool to put room mics back in here.
Yeah.
We just got to make sure that all the snares have some sort of, like this does not. But yeah, some like sort of dampening on the actual snare wires, so they don't rattle too much.
What's in this little area?
It's like percussion and other various drum things, like kick drum beaters.
Pedals,
a box full of drumsticks.
Yes.
Extra guitar stands.
Pop filters.
Tambourine. Pop filters. Cowbells, assortment of those.
you know, we're going to do a session in here.
Yes.
When you go to a commercial studio and there's a house engineer, one of the best things you can do is ask them questions like this, because they literally see every single session come through here, and they see some people come in and insist on doing it their way, and some people will ask you.
Yep.
And you get to see what works really great and what maybe doesn't work so great. And so I always love getting the perspective of the house engineer on, like, what do you like to do if it's like a full band coming in here?
So, I mean, like you said, every room is different. There's definitely tricks to this room that I've learned over the years. When just recording drums in this space, I like to pull them out into the room a bit. Typically,
ooh, yeah,
like kick drum in this spot, like a third of the way in the room.
Yeah.
Tends to have the most balanced picture of the bottom end in the corners over here. But if there's a full band, this obviously takes up a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
Especially if the drummer isn't the star of the show. There's also some blind spots in here. So if you've noticed, the control room is off to the side instead of being in the front of the room.
Yep.
Which can be really great, floor to ceiling windows, to sort of have the engineer and the musicians feel like they're working together instead of this like sort of like I'm lording over you sort of thing. But that does create some blind spots in this side of the room. So typically I'll have drums here for full band is in this room, and I'll put like the band leader, normally lead singer, right here with great sight lines to the back producer's desk is normally where there's going to be the biggest conversation. You don't want to put them, you know, over here where the engineer can't see them. They're wanting to put their hand up to stop something. That can create some frustration when recording. So that's normally what we aim to do. A lot of times engineers will come in here and they'll just track drums in this room, and they'll have everyone else recording in the control room. So it matters a little bit less. But there is sight lines in between the ISO booths as well. So there's a window that looks into this smaller room.
Oh, cool.
So sometimes, like for a jazz band, for example, everyone playing together, you can set up the room where everyone can see everyone else, and you can have isolation in both booths.
Yep.
So that's another sort of thing. Normally, if you put a musician here and here, you can kind of have this four-corner situation with sight lines to everybody, which makes it super great for a band playing together.
Sweet. Check out the control room.
Let's do it. So this is our control room here for Studio A. Obviously, the first thing that comes to my eye is our Rupert Neve Designs 5088, the anchor piece of the room. Yeah, it's a workhorse. It's been here, well, you were here when we first installed it.
Yeah.
In the spring of 2022, but it's been a huge improvement in this space, and the outboard gear has grown since you were here as well.
I can tell there's been quite a few changes. You got some more speakers.
Yep, yes, definitely.
I love the fader controllers. There's obviously no automation on this desk, so having it where you can record in on the front end and then automate there, I love that.
Yeah, just giving some options for people to be able to grab a fader in Pro Tools. And the UF8's been great. I've been loving using that.
Yep.
Had them in the other rooms as well.
I noticed you got a little Rupert Neve headphone dock here.
Yep. And yeah, the ATC 150s were here. We added the Oceanway HR 3.5s. And then the near fields change quite often, but recently I've been using these Neumann KH80s.
Yeah.
They've been ripping. More preamps were added, sort of out of necessity. We've had a few sessions in here that used all 64 I/O from our HDX card. So it's not like we're recording 64 channels at once, but it's when you have the whole room set up with every possibility that you reach that channel count quite quickly. So
you added, you got some of the SSL pre's, some Grace, right?
That's
Grace?
Yep, 8 channel.
Ultra clean.
Love the Grace preamps. A couple of the Hazel rig chains, some Pultecs, 1073 CO1B combination, summing mixer, all the good stuff.
I love this stuff, man. I love tracking. Getting the sound on the front end is such a rare, not everyone gets to do that. So when you do, like, I think it can be such a transformative experience of like what you get recorded into Pro Tools just sounds so much further along than if you just hit the pre or whatever.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and that's really what this space is all about and why the gear is curated in here. We've even got a bunch of outboard effects units. And again, talk about using effects while recording. It's, getting it right with the, the tape echo when you're actually tracking the vocal can change the way the whole band feels about the performance. So all of our effects are actually going through the Pro Patch. So we can create very unique effects chains from the computer. So all the UA pedals, the tape echo, the Bricasti, everything's going to the Pro Patch. from the aux sends on the console and then back to the returns. So there were years where I had a bunch of tape and cables and was like, okay, let's make this really complex effects chain. Now all the tape and cables are gone. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
And so you have it to where you can basically click through on the Pro Patch and move the chains around.
I can go Berkasti into the tape echo, or any sort of effect chain.
So for anyone who's never heard of this is kind of a unique product. But the Pro Patch is a fully analog patch bay, and this is the 128 version.
Yeah.
And so you can connect basically all this outboard analog gear to it, and then it has a program on the computer that switches off of relays. And so there's no digital anything in it. It literally is just switching the connections around.
Yep.
And you can move chains around, sort of like the digital patch bay, but
it's all wire to wire. Yeah, it's essentially that without cables. So it's been really cool in that sense for making creative things on the fly, but again printing them to Pro Tools.
Yeah,
so
it's a great use for it.
Yeah,
on the effects side.
Yep, exactly.
Killer, man.
Yeah, LA2As, 1176s, bunch of the mag stuff, and then those SVTs run out to that piano ISO where I have the 810s. So again, that's having stuff with the control room at your fingertips is efficient. Same thing with the rack of guitar amps behind you.
Yeah, let's look at this real quick, because this got me very, very excited.
Yeah.
Some great choices over here. I think this used to be a bigger thing over there, right?
We had amp storage in here, but now I store them in the back, and we'll see that later on too. But yeah, these four, essentially, the back of them, I have a speaker line patch bay underneath the desk here that then goes out to those 412s in the other room.
Okay.
So we can make combinations of unique sounding guitar tones with the JD7. So one guitar, 4 amps, or use one at a time.
Killer.
It's great to have in here.
I like this too. Okay, so what's going on here? Is this most of the time on a session?
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about day to day, where things go. You're actually on a session. Like, I feel like this has just got to be drinks and snacks, right?
Sometimes.
Okay.
A lot of times it's like my laptop and some notes.
Drinks and snacks up here.
Yeah, sure. The band's normally sitting here, and this is where the conversation tends to happen.
Yeah.
So it's also sometimes full of more outboard gear, depending on what the session calls for.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a bunch of guitar pedals, or it's more preamps or something. But typically, it's my coffee, my laptop, some notes, and it's more of a conversation thing. Can also put keyboards there too if we're working out parts. But yeah, I like to keep it blank, especially when people walk in too. If it's an outside engineer, I don't like to really have a preconceived notion of what goes on here. Same thing within the live room. They can imagine what they want to use the space for when they come in. So,
all right. So I'm a keyboardist. I've got a synth I'm gonna do. You parking them right in here?
Yeah. Typically.
What's the quickest, like, let's go right into this?
Let's head into this storage room here where I have all my synths. But the first thing I'll typically grab for something fast is the microcorg.
Oh, okay.
Because it's super light. It's got MIDI, and I can just plug it in with a 9-volt.
Yep.
I've also got Moog Matriarch behind the door there. There's a DX7 and a Sub 37.
Nice.
I've got a Magnus chord organ, which is super cool.
This thing?
Yeah. And then more outboard gear storage. But yeah, there's also a Nord in the other room too that typically can be something that's got a lot of sounds really fast. I got a Roland keyboard over there with a bunch of different patches, a Kurzweil.
Yeah, what are we looking at here?
Sure.
This is obviously a lot more than just converters.
Yeah, we have a performance theater across the hall, which is what these two flanking racks are. Studio A's rack is right here in the center.
Okay, so this is the studio's
correct.
rack here.
And the first question I always get asked from people that don't work in commercial facilities is, why is all this gear in a different room? You hear the fans going.
Oh, yeah.
This would be super annoying next to the listening position. So anything with a fan goes in here. So computer, converters, headphone system, MIDI interface, you name it. So that's really what's in here. I've got Mac Studios are running on all 3 rooms. We're using HDX in all 3 rooms as well. This room has a combination of Burl Mothership and Avid Matrix converters. And then this Tascam is the converter for the headphone system. And then if we change sample rates, that can just stay locked for the Aviom units, which is kind of a cool thing.
Interesting.
And then this is a Ethernet patch bay that goes into the Ethernet ports on all the wall plates in the tracking room.
Amazing.
So I can not only change where my headphones are getting sent, we can have a computer in here that sends Ethernet out there, or Dante interfaces that I can run here and then plug into our Dante switch. So having that is quite useful for you name it.
So the Aviom.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bring this down to a what's it called? The layman. We've got converters. You're sending analog out to the headphone system. Sending Pro Tools Sense.
I'm sending analog out that goes to the Tascam, converted to Dante, which goes to the headphone box.
Okay, so you're using the Dante ins on here.
Correct.
This is receiving analog inputs.
Correct.
From these guys?
Either the Burl or the Matrix.
Depending on which channels.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, but you're sending in Pro Tools off of sends.
Yes.
And then those run through this to this.
Yes.
In real time.
Yep.
This patch bay then connects it to the walls, which then goes to the mixers.
Yep, and the Avioms all run on ANET, is what they call it, but it's power and audio that goes to the boxes. So it's just one Ethernet cable to plug everything in, 16-channel mixer for everybody. So
can we check out your secret room that you have back here?
Every studio should have some sort of organized storage room for any gear that doesn't fit in the rooms. So this is where I have guitar pedals, adapters. The other side is more like mic cases and extra microphones that don't fit in the locker. Clean and dirty towels for people to wipe the sweat off of their faces when they're recording. And then outboard gear. Sometimes things are requested in rooms that aren't actually in there, so we have backups to bring in if we need to. And then the cable storage.
Look at this.
Which is important. And again, organization in all of this is super critical for efficiencies, especially in large tracking sessions.
We had this guy at East West, his name was Reese, R.I.P. Reese. But we had a room like this. The room was called Studio 4.
There you go.
And it's actually Jeff's room now. Basically, it was where all this stuff was kept. And he would always task runners with quantizing it. I need you to quantize Studio 4, which basically meant put everything back where it's supposed to be.
Yep.
Make it nicer than it is.
Yep.
And also leave me alone, get out of here.
Totally.
That's basically what it was code for.
Yep.
But you needed to be able to come and find stuff in a heartbeat, you know, notice.
Well, turn to the bins behind you, and that's sort of what the idea is. Any adapter or cable you can think of in a labeled bin. Because again, sessions, you never know what's going to get thrown your way and what crazy thing needs to be hooked up, and this is where this comes into play.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, plenty of things. And it's a constant, constantly needing more organization.
We've all got one of these. 2-pin and weird power adapters.
You never know. I've actually had to go in there a few weeks ago for something.
Check the weird power adapter bin. And you had a little tech station back here?
Yep.
Set up your guitars?
Yep. Changed some strings there. I've got a snare drum I need to clean up that I just bought.
Sick.
Old tape decks. And some of my video stuff too, which has been a new addition to this room. So some Blackmagic cameras, a switcher, a TV for that, some lights, tripods. All that stuff has been a newfound hobby.
Yeah, you're starting on the studio channel now.
Yeah, totally. So we're doing.
What's it called?
Sweetwater Studios. Yeah,
perfect.
There's an underscore in there. Yeah,
perfect.
So we're doing artist content, performance content, as well as some fun gear videos.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
love that. I'm glad that you guys are doing that because this is such a great place to be able to play around with.
And it's a value add too. I've had so many artists, on tour in the Midwest, and they come by and they see Sweetwater, and it's why can't we add one more thing for them to do here? So those performance videos have really been filling that hole for us.
Heck yeah! I always like kind of getting a peek in the weeds of the studio. Wait, can we check out the guitars real quick?
Yes.
So I don't remember this. I think this was a different thing last time I was here. But you guys have curated some go-tos?
Yeah. A lot of these used to live in the tracking room, and I ended up having to move them so much. So it's been easier just to get them out of the way. But yeah, I've curated some guitars. That's a nice Dan Electro baritone.
Wow.
I've got a baritone acoustic as well, which is also kind of cool.
Oh my God. I gotta get a baritone.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's a curated collection of things that are pretty standard. Nothing is too out of the ordinary. Everyone needs a few Les Pauls, one Strat, one Telly.
Yep.
Some Music Man stuff, 335. Got a high-strung acoustic, and then a D18 Taylor and a J45. So staples. This is a weird one. It's a electric resonator.
Yep. Nice.
I don't know. But yeah, most of the stuff's pretty standard. We walked past the basses that are in there, but yeah, just studio instruments that are all tuned up and ready to go.
Dang. Okay. So there has to be a system to this, right?
Sort of. I try to keep the dynamic mics on this wall.
Yep.
Large diaphragm condensers here. That's sort of ribbon mics in front of you.
Are we on triad orbit? Is that what all these connectors are?
Yep.
Nice. Love that.
So it makes it super efficient. The locker was actually set up as an extension of the music store when they first built it in the early 2000s. So that's why it sort of has this display look.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be really strategic for like fast moving mic grabbing.
Yeah.
Where if this was all in a drawer on a shelf, it'd be a lot harder. So I'm able to walk in here and see most of my options and then quickly grab them. So it actually turned out to be quite advantageous for us.
Nice.
But the drawers are also full. Yeah, match pair of 44s and 440s. They're mismatched right now, but yeah,
killer.
Try to get a pair of everything is the goal.
Have you used these 37s on anything?
Love them. A bunch of stuff.
I would love to try
V3,
this.
overheads, vocals.
Yeah. You guys are carrying Coles now. That's freaking cool.
Well, we've actually had them for a while, special order only. But now I think they're being advertised through AEA.
Nice.
But yeah, those are great microphones.
And then all these drawers are filled with power supplies and goodies?
No, more mics. There's 57s in there.
Good Lord.
Yeah, they're all full of microphones. The power supplies pretty much live on the shelf. Again, for efficiency's sake.
Killer. All right, let's go. Let's keep on moving.
This is smaller ideas. Typically mixing, overdubs, pre-production in these rooms. So this is our smallest room, Studio C. This is where
a lot of speakers.
Yeah, I do my stereo mixing in here. And then, it's outfitted for 914 Atmos with Focal Solo 6s. And then a bunch of outboard gear for hybrid mix workflow, as well as some small tracking, typically vocals, but also sometimes acoustic.
Oh, yeah, because you got the booth. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Killer.
And as we walk down the hall, I'll show you, but there's another booth behind it and then another control room, and there's sight lines across all four of them. So this side of the studio building can be turned into one studio.
Yeah.
I have analog ties to all the rooms, so if we need to, we can track a full band within all these ISOs.
You could have two producers that don't get along.
Dueling producers, yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Now, these rooms are all publicly available to be booked by anyone to come in, and theoretically, the smaller rooms are cheaper than the bigger rooms.
Exactly. Yep.
Nice.
And the big room is booked out in half-day or full-day rates. This room is, and the Studio B are hourly.
Cool.
Again, for smaller things.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are a full commercial facility under the Sweetwater umbrella. So we're not just here to support Sweetwater's marketing efforts. We're a commercial recording facility first and foremost.
So you can come in, cut some vocals on your record, mix your track.
Exactly, where they live.
Yeah, this feels like it would be a good room to mix in.
Yeah,
I kind of like the smaller rooms for the focus mixing.
Exactly, and same thing with the vocal recording too. The large room sometimes can be kind of uncomfortable for vocals. This is a pretty intimate thing between the engineer, producer, and the vocalist. It's tight, it's darker, so people tend to be able to explore more in this space. Small ISO booth here. If you peek your head in there, Ike, you can see through the glass. Again, sight lines. A huge thing. But all the tie lines also go into Studio B, so we could record it in here as well. But this is our flagship Atmos room. PMC 914 is sort of the reason this room is here. We also do some tracking here, but it's primarily Atmos mixing. Or people will rent the space to listen to their record too. Again, being centrally located in the Midwest, a lot of times it makes sense for people to meet up here and listen to their Atmos mixes in a room.
This is great. What a good size.
Yeah, exactly.
Love this.
Yeah, sort of that mid-size control room.
Yeah.
Not as big as Studio A, but you can fit a band in here pretty comfortably.
Is this like the hallway?
Yeah, so that looks out into the lobby of the mall here at Sweetwater.
Look at that, dude.
So it can become a fishbowl if you want it to be. No, you're good. But yeah, that's...
wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Stays shut most of the time.
Yeah.
Just to keep down on the reflections with all the speakers in here. But this also opens up, and again, with the same design as Studio A, floor-to-ceiling glass into the ISO booth.
Oh, killer.
Again, sort of like bridging that gap between the engineer and the artist. It sort of feels like we're all together in the same room. It's a Russ Berger Designs thing. So all the rooms sort of have that side-facing control room.
Yeah. Killer. I just got this EQ4. I'm so excited to try it.
Dude, it's so great.
The Monk.
Yeah. Airband's gray. Yeah, STC8, Fairy Mew, Hazel Ring vocal chain, and again, 1073 in all the spaces.
This one is amazing.
Yep.
I have been loving that been tracking out on everything, the V&E.
Yep.
I would love to listen to some stuff.
Yeah.
We can compare all the different rooms.
Yeah.
You guys can't really hear it because, you know.
But yeah, come book some time here and listen to our control room.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're here.
That's the best way. Like when you're looking for speakers, I've talked to a lot of folks in this market for buying gear and speakers, and it's so hard going to a place where everything's on a wall.
Or you're in a store and it's loud.
Exactly.
Or you have the best way to do it is the offset thing, you know, where you walk, but it's still, they're not in the optimal spot. You're changing a space in the room.
Yes.
So honestly, yeah, the best thing to do is book time in a studio.
Go in, listen to the speakers in the room, how they're meant to be placed correctly.
Yeah. And get some advice from the engineers there or your sales engineer here at Sweetwater who have heard all the speakers and know what'll work best for the size of your room, the genre you're working on, what you're looking to get out of your speakers, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's been great to be here and be able to hear all of the different speakers. Obviously in the studio we have a bunch of different kinds, but I get to hear all the new ones that come into Sweetwater as well and get a good idea of how everything sounds.
Jason, congrats on the new gig.
Thank you.
The studio looks amazing. I'm envious. This is like one of the most fun parts of my life was getting to do this job at a different studio. So I imagine you're having a blast. If you guys want to come in and do a session with Jason, book some time. I'll put links underneath this video. Go follow you.
Yeah.
Subscribe to this Sweetwater Studio channel.
Yes, yep.
On
this
YouTube.
Content there,
we're going to encourage Jason to make some fun new videos on there. And now we're actually going to do a session in this room. So hit subscribe, like, thanks for watching. Let us know if you have any questions down underneath the video.